love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. I'm going to go to Mike in Smyrna. Mike, let's start with you. What's your question? How can I help?
Yes, boss. I've got about $460,000 that I need to park for the next 12 to 18 months. Currently, I've got it in a money market and a CD paying from 0.2% to 0.6%. And recently I heard of online banking, which I don't know anything about. Most of the money I've got in money market CDs is just brick and mortar banks. Online banking, I was looking on the internet. You could get 1 to 1.25%. My question is it safe?
Yes. And this is a question that's come up year after year for almost 20 years now. And it's interesting because I think we've all thought the same question. Hey, I can get, let's say, well, this is your scenario. This is very applicable to a lot of us listening, or a lot of listeners. Hey, I'm going to get 0.5% in my bank, my brick and mortar local around the corner bank. Or I can go to bankrate.com. I can find CIT Bank or Everbank or Synchrony Bank, and they're going to pay me 1.1%. So full 0.5% or a little bit more beyond that, and that can really add up. The 0.5% on $100,000 is a big number, and you're talking about $400,000. Now we're really talking about some serious money here. So $100,000 at 1% is $1,000. So it's basically a $500 bump per 100,000. For you, you're talking $450. So you're talking about 500 times, let's call it 4.5. Call it. You're talking about $2,200 difference. So my question to you is it worth even a slight mental worry about it or not? These banks are safe. For 20 years now, I've seen people use online banks, and they're getting 1% versus 0.5%, or go back when money market rates were 3% and they're getting 4%. Right. I have never seen an issue with an online bank. I've never seen anybody say, well, because it was an online bank, they made off with my money, or they collapsed and I never got my money back. They're still FDIC insured. So you still have to comply with the FDIC limits, Mike. Right. The same thing you would have to do, the $250,000 limits per titled account. You still have to comply with all that, just like you would if you were at Brand Bank here in Georgia, let's say, or Fidelity Bank, right, here in Georgia. But online, it is a little less. You have a little less tangible, tactile feel that, hey, my money is in a place. It's not really in a place anyway when you walk into a brick and mortar bank, right? It's not there in the safe. But there is the feeling to some extent that it is, because you can go talk to somebody. Right. And for some folks, it's worth it to take a little bit less. Now, what I typically would tell people is that my thought is that you can usually go to your bank and say, look, hey, you and I both know I can get 1.1% at Synchrony online. Can you bump mine up to 1 or 0.9? So it's pretty close. It's worth $2-3 to me over the next year and a half. Hey, isn't there something we can do? And usually banks are a little bit flexible with that, because you can talk to real life people, God forbid, right? So I'm telling you that these online banks are safe. I've seen them be safe for 20 years. I don't see that changing. But there is a little bit of there's a tiny price or it's worth it to me to be able to talk with somebody, and particularly with money market type money, where it's just going to sit there and you're just trying to maximize an ultra safe rate of return. What I would do is I'd go to my bank and say, look, guys, I'm going to be here. This money's going to be here for 18 months. Let's get me closer to 1%, so I don't have to go to an online bank. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You can retire sooner than you think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.